Mike Lindell, which is the CEO of MyPillow. If you haven't heard of this guy before, he basically was helping Trump in his fight against the election fraud. He also was somebody that was a big advocate for RSBN and big supporter for a lot of different conservative causes. He is the owner of MyPillow, has his product in plenty of different stores, Christian, conservative, all of that good stuff. And his Twitter account was entirely removed. His business Twitter account was also entirely removed. And his product has now been removed from Kohl's, Mattress Firm, plenty of other places like that. And he had an interview on Newsmax, which at least we assumed was a conservative network, one similar to OANN as well. But he had an interview on there, and things went a little bit haywire.
So what happened? What happened with your Twitter account and the company page?
Well, first mine was taken down because we have all the election fraud with these Dominion machines. We have 100% proof. And then when they took it down about 3 weeks ago, and then when I put it back up, my personal, it was a
Mike, thank you very much. Mike, you're talking about machines that we at Newsmax have not been able to verify any of those kinds of allegations. We just want to let people know that there's nothing substantive that we've seen. And let me read you something there. While there were some clear evidence of some cases of vote fraud and election irregularities, the election results in every state were certified, and Newsmax accepts the results as legal and final. The courts have also supported that view. So we wanted to talk to you about canceling culture, if you will. We don't want to relitigate the allegations that you're making, Mike, because we understand where you are. So let me ask you this. Do you think that this should be temporary because it appears to be permanent? Could you make an argument that it is temporary?
What?
Could you make an argument that this could be a temporary banning rather than permanent?
No, I want it to be a permanent because you know what? They did this because I'm revealing all the evidence on Friday of all the election fraud with these machines. So I'm sorry if you think it's not
Mike,
it's real.
Can I ask our producers, can we get out of here, please? I don't want to have to keep going over this.
Actually,
we at Newsmax have not been able to verify any of those allegations that you're
Mike, hold on a second. Everybody hold on a second. Mike, hold on 1 second. Let's talk a little bit about just what is happening overall in terms of censorship of...
Trying to cancel out my company and myself. In this country, it's cancel culture.
So first of all, this really shows that Newsmax has gone the way of the mainstream media, in my opinion. But the fact is that obviously this is ridiculous, but it's also pretty funny too. I think that Mike Lindell just kind of going on there and just continuing to talk about exactly the reason why he was banned from Twitter in the first place is important, but you obviously have this guy there that just does not want to hear it. Keep in mind, Newsmax is the one that invited him to the show. They invited him on. And they want to talk about the censorship, but they, of course, for some reason don't want to hear why he got censored, which is very important to the censorship. That's kind of the only thing you can talk about. And the guy just goes through and just talks right over him the entire time as if he has no evidence of what's actually happening here. And he did say that he's going to be releasing some details about the election and everything tomorrow. But either way, you don't invite a guest on just to basically talk over them. If you can't deal with it, don't do it. So the guy's name that got triggered leaves, just literally walks up out of his chair, is named Bob Sellers. And he put out a statement yesterday basically apologizing for the thing. He said, "I was frustrated that we couldn't focus on the current, very pressing issue of free speech and cancel culture." Look, stop right there. A part of the reasoning, the actual reasoning behind why somebody was getting canceled, why somebody wasn't able to speak freely, is just as important as the fact that their Twitter account got removed. The reasoning matters. I mean, if anything, I would say that the reasoning is the discussion. And you don't have to like it, but it is what it is. So, and then he goes on and says, "In hindsight, there's no question that I could have handled the end of the interview differently." Once again, any part of that, all of that should have been handled differently. Mainly because I don't know what Newsmax is trying to do. What are they trying to accomplish by shutting Mike Lindell down? At this point, I don't understand what their goal is, because if they're going to attack conservatives, if you have people on there working for the organization that are going to talk over guests and people that have been canceled, then what do they think is going to happen? They already have lost a lot of their audience simply because they were confirming the election results way before everything was done and completed with. They were already doing that. They were last, but they still did it way before they needed to do it, way before January 6th. And yet here you go, where they're trying to, what, get a bunch of left-leaning people to watch Newsmax? That's not going to happen. So them doing this and having people on like that needs to stop, because all they're doing is shooting themselves in the foot. It's not going to get you anywhere. Ultimately, if you're going to have somebody on, let them speak. And thankfully, they did invite Mike Lindell back on that evening with a guy that actually was willing to hear his case out and just have a normal conversation that you would expect to have without somebody talking over you the entire time.
You just watched a clip from The William Hall Show. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe.